Baobab People is a grassroots organization that is dedicated to connecting cultures through dialogue and learning. And one of the ways we do that is create spaces, safe spaces where people can congregate and engage in dialogue.
The Baobab is a grassroots organization, and it's rooted in the community, and I thought that's a wonderful thing. The voice of grassroots people is very, very important to articulate concerns, at the community level. And I thought, by partnering, we can help them do that a little bit.
I think having more grassroots organizations that ask, particularly neighbors, to talk to each other is increasingly important in contemporary society, particularly in St. Louis, where we tend to look at our phones and not at each other, and having an organization like Baobab People that encourages people to look up, look at each other, and engage in dialogue, where we learn more not only about each other but also about ourselves and the way that we engage with the world, I think is deeply valuable.
People need to stop living in fear of the unknown. They can start discussing some of those things that may be fearful, basically because they don't understand or they don't know.
And nobody knows my name. One of the essays, James Baldwin says this. He says, "In the endeavor to wed the vision of the old world with that of the new, it is the writer, not the statesman, who has the strongest arm. Though we do not wholly believe it yet, the interior life is a real life, and the tangible and the intangible dreams of people have a tangible effect on the world." And so I throw this out there really as a quote, as a coda, because that interior life, that's a space where we leave those unasked questions. And so previously I've read this passage, I've understood this passage of Baldwin's as a passage that speaks to our dreams and aspirations. This morning I want to hear it as those things that we keep locked up, those things that we keep on the interior, those things that we refuse to say, still have a tangible effect on the real world. Because if we keep it locked up on the interior, it means that we don't get to talk about it and we don't get to change it. So we have to understand that those things that we have on the inside that are about our relationships, our social relationships with each other, we need to get those out. We need to put them on the table and find ways to have honest and occasionally uncomfortable, difficult and painful conversations about those things. And then we will change the world.
We sort of have a culture of silence in America. There's so many things we don't like to talk about, and there's rarely opportunities to talk about the things that make us uncomfortable. And so I think what Baobab People is really good at is creating spaces where people feel safe talking about the things that they want to talk about but don't feel like they really have a place to do that.
Baobab People is important because diversity is a good thing, difference is a good thing, and we see value across the board in everyone. And that is, the value is brought to the forefront with the context of our society and our world, in which difference is often seen as something that leads to violence and unrest. So I think that we would be doing this regardless, because we care about dignifying people and in promoting education and unity through connection.
We need to be absolutely sure that in our relationships and in our work, we allow compassion and understanding to rule. Otherwise, the only other option available to us would be to continue